Okay, so that's fine. We are going to start them. It doesn't matter who's here, who's not. Uh, Today's session is going to be very short uh, because there is not a lot to say in regards to the class because I uploaded the, the homework and also the material to the platform. And just to show you, if you haven't checked, we have the material for unit number 3, and also we have here an exercise. So this is the material that you can download, whether in your computer, your tablet, or your smartphone, and you can see what it has inside. After you check it, you have to go to the exercise that I left here for you. And this is an exercise about roles, right? I'm not going to tell you what a role is because that is the first question for this homework. So you have to talk about what you have in there. Let me show you. I'm going to show you the material. If you have problems downloading the material, let me know, because someone told me it was a girl. She told me that she couldn't find the material, but anyways, that's okay. It is there, but if you cannot download it, let me know. I know the quality of the material is not that good because I am scanning a copy from the book that I have. I'm scanning it, and that's why you see it like that. I found this book. I found it in my documents. I found it, a physical book, which has better quality, and I will see if the next unit is going to look better, because I know it's kind of blurry in some parts. Well, so here we have unit number 3. It says because I told you to, something like that. I don't see it there anyways. And as you can see here, as you can see here, you will see the same person in different scenarios, like in different situations. Look, you have this person here. Oh, I wouldn't say that's the one, but anyways, yes. You have this person here, you have the same person here, and you also have the same person here. If you check closely, you will notice that it is the same person, but in different situations. And that's what the word role means, right? I told you I'm not going to tell you. So this is only for you to have an idea of what a role is, okay? So don't pay attention to this part, no, not this part, the warm up, no. If you wanna practice your reading, you can go here and read the conversation, you see? So these people are talking about, they're talking about different jobs that they have, but maybe later in next week, we can talk about this conversation. So I'm gonna let you read it, and then the first thing that is asking a few questions, about this this text. So moving on, well, the purpose of the meeting today is only explaining what we have on the unit and what you have to do. So moving on, we have a vocabulary check. Make sure that this is personal. This is your part, your study, okay? After you read, right, you have to check the vocabulary and you try to do it. Like, okay, I know that you don't have it physically, but you can take a notebook or whatever, and after you read, you do your own practice, right? You don't need to have this physically. You grab a piece of paper and you say, okay, now let me do this. Rush hour. Okay, it says that rush hour is on the line 8. Let me go up to line number 8. As you can see here, it has lines, right? 5. Okay, so if you count, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see? That's line number 5 to guide you. If you continue, it says 6, 7, 8, right? 9 and 10. You see? Line number 10. So that word says that we have to go to line number 8 to find it. So we can have a context to know the real meaning of the word. Because you know that in English, sometimes words have different meaning depending on the context that it is used. So we'll go up here and let's see line number 8. If this is line number 5, I'm going to start from here because, you know, to see the context. It says, what can I say? She's the best boss I've ever had. First of all, she lets us choose our own hours. So now I start work at 10 and leave at 6. I miss all the rush hour traffic that way. You see? Which means that rush hour is related to traffic. So you will have to discover what rush hour means. You guys know what rush is. When you're rushing, when you're fast. So rush hour basically is a time that is very hectic. It's a time that maybe there are a lot of people on the street, many cars or things like that. So that's what it means. And then you continue looking for the answers, right? So then we go on. We are not going to touch this part now. We're going to continue to the grammar. And I'm going to stop here because this is very important. Let me, hold on, whiteboard. I'm going to open up the whiteboard so because I have to tell you something. Now, here it says, orders, request, permission, persuasion, advice, right? An order is when you tell a person to do something. Now, I have a question for you. If you can answer this question. When you're giving an order here, when you're giving an order, what is the grammar that you use when you want to give an order to a person? What is the grammar that you use? Think about it for 1 minute. When you're giving orders, what grammar do you use? What sentence structure do you use? Yeah, I'll give you 30 seconds if you got, oh, okay. Joe Casey, what do you say? Yes.
When we are going to give an order, we have to use a modal verb that can be must.
Okay, all right, okay. Now, do you guys know the imperative? What is the imperative in English? Like if I tell you, stop talking, and if I tell you, do your homework, and if I tell you, be on time for the class, you see, I'm telling you to do something, and when I do that, so basically, yes, your case, we use the imperative to give an order. That's what we use. I'll have to put it in mute. Yeah, okay. All right, now, guys, what I want to explain to you is the following. to give, it says here that there are verbs, right? There are verbs that we use to express request, order, persuasion, permission, advice. But for you to have a complete sentence, it says here that those verbs are followed by a noun phrase and an affirm sorry, and an infinitive, right? So the verbs are followed by a noun phrase and an infinitive. You guys know that for you to form the infinitive in English, you need to have the particle or the preposition to. You see, to love, to go, to do, to see, to study. Whenever you put to in front of a verb, you are using the infinitive. So let's take, for example, the sentence number 1. Look, this sentence is an order. So it says, Mr. Smith told the secretary to type a letter, right? Now, we're gonna take that one. We're going to take this sentence. Wow, I don't know if I can copy this. Hold on. I didn't know that. Well, maybe it might not work, but anyways. Okay, let me share the whiteboard. I'm going to share the whiteboard here. I don't know if it is going to work. But anyways. Oh, yeah. I like that. I like that application. I like it. This is the app, the Adobe Scan. The Adobe Scan is when you scan your document with your telephone, it doesn't matter if the text is in paper, right? It recognizes some of the letters. As you can see here, there is a little mistake. You see, some spaces, but it works fine. So Mr. Smith told the secretary to type a letter. Now, let's break this sentence into pieces, right? Now, I have a question for you. How many subjects do you see in this sentence? How many subjects? What, who, which, what? Who is the subject in this sentence? You can answer. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Someone's raising their hands. Hold on. Let me check. Oh, Francifel, you raised your hand.
The subject
Yes.
is Mr. Smith.
All right. And very good, Francifel. Very good. Now, I have another question. Well, not for you, for everybody. Then, what if Mr. Smith is the subject? What is the secretary then? What is the secretary? Joe Casey, did you raise your hand?
No.
Oh, okay. That was from before. I see. So, okay. Did you raise your hand again? Francie fell. I don't know.
Yes, me.
Okay.
Can I answer?
Yes.
Okay, the secretary in this situation is the person who received the order.
Oh, okay. So the person who received the order, right? Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Yes, yes. You know that people sometimes get confused and they say that there are two subjects, the sentence. But we need to know that a subject is the person, the thing, or the animal that does the action, right? This is the subject. Now, I don't want to confuse you guys. I was going to tell you something, but I regret it. I regret. So anyways, I'm going to continue with this. The secretary in here is not the subject, right? But it's a noun. It's a name, right? It could be the dog, because remember, the noun could be an animal, could be a person or it could be a thing. So basically, this is a noun phrase. You know why it's a noun phrase? It's because it has a subject, but besides the subject, it has another name, which is not the subject. For example, check this. We have Mr. Smith, right? So Mr. Smith is the subject, the person who does the action. But we also have the secretary, right? So the secretary is the noun. You see, it doesn't mean that Mr. Smith is not a noun. It is a noun, but it is the subject, the main actor in the sentence. So the secretary, which is a noun, is a secondary actor in here. So for you to use the verbs to express order, request, persuasion, or advice, you need to have these two elements in the sentence. You need to have a subject and you need to have a noun in the same subject. That's right. Here, as you can see, we have a verb, which is to tell, right? But this is in past. So we say, Mr. Smith told the secretary. Because if you give an order, you give an order to someone, right? Or to something. It could be a dog. It could be a dog, because you can say, Mr. Smith told the dog to sit down, right? Let's write that one down. Let's see. Or I can say Alberto. Alberto told the dog to sit down. You see, here we have a noun phrase. The noun phrase is the following. You have Alberto, which is the subject, and you have the dog, which is the noun. So this whole sentence includes, besides the subject, a noun, and this is what we call a noun phrase. Let me put it up here. Noun phrase. Noun, which means name, right? Noun is name, so noun phrase. So many people get confused with this. A noun phrase is just the other person, the other thing, the other animal that we mentioned in the sentence, which is not doing the action. Let me know if you have a question before I continue. If you have a question, raise your hand so I can answer. We're trying to explain what a noun phrase is. And we are saying that for you to create a sentence expressing advice, expressing persuasion, or any of the options that we have in here, look, any of the options here, order, request, permission, persuasion, or advice, you need to have the two elements. But it's not necessary that you have a name, because remember that nouns, which are names, can also be substituted by pronouns, right? For example, or let's check this example. Let's check example number 2. Look here. Here we have, he also warned her. You see, he also warned her. Well, you can say, but teacher, who is her? Well, we're talking about the secretary. You see, the first sentence said, Mr. Smith told the secretary to type a letter. And on the second one, we have, he also. Who is he? Mr. Smith. And who is her? The secretary. So he also warned her not to make personal phone calls at work. You see, these are orders. Now, you wonder, teacher, how do I know what is an order, what is a request, what is a type of persuasion or advice? Well, depending on the verb that you use, you will know. we are going to see a list of verbs that express the different type of sentences, I might say, whether if it is a order, if it is a request, or if it is a permission that you're asking. But let's take a look at the third one. Look at the third sentence. It says, the secretary, yes. Now, who is the secretary? Who can tell me? Like, can you raise your hand and tell me who is the secretary? If the secretary is the noun, or if the secretary is what? Okay, let me see. Jokasi, did you raise your hand?
Yes.
Okay.
In this sentence, the secretary now is the subject, and Mr. Smith now is the noun.
Very good. That's right. So secretary is the subject and Mr. Smith is the noun, which means that here we have a request. You know why? Because let me go back. Let me go back. Look, when you tell a person to do something, you are giving an order. Whenever you say, I told Alberto to do it, I told Freddie to go home, I told her not to do that, you gave an order. Whenever you use the verb tell, to tell, you're giving orders. Also, warn, to warn, you see this verb, warning. I know you have seen whenever you buy a product or whenever you buy whatever, like a telephone or a computer or makeup or chemics, right? Or anything that you have in your house, if you buy it in a store, you will see that on the seal, like on the little letters that it has on the back or at the front or in the manual, it says warning. You see, warning is because you have to take that into account. If you don't do it, if you don't take that into account, something is going to happen, something bad. So that means that when you warn a person, is when you tell a person something that if the person doesn't do it or doesn't follow it, is going to give bad results. So that's why we say that when we are warning, we are giving an order too. Now in the number 3, we use the verb ask, right? Which is in past in there. But when you ask, you are requesting, right? So that's logical. If you're asking, you are requesting. That's a request. Maybe the person is not obligated to answer or to give you whatever you are asking or requesting, but that's why we say it's a request. Now, let's see the number 4, sorry. It says, Mr. Smith, subject, didn't allow her, noun, which is the secretary, didn't allow her to take a day off. Allow, when you permit, when you allow, when you let, that's when you are giving permission or when you are asking for permission to do something. And the last one, which is instead, he persuaded his secretary to work. This is persuasion, persuade, right? So persuasion, that's how we express it. Now, what I want you to notice is that if I ask you to do, for example, a sentence expressing order or expressing a request, you need to know that you have to use in the same sentence a subject and also a noun, because if the noun is not there, the sentence is not complete. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. I'm going to give you one sentence. Let me give you one sentence. Let's say Alberto gave the class. Alberto gave the class. Oops, sorry. Alberto gave the class, right? you're not expressing anything in here. I mean, in regards to the topic that we're talking about, like you're not expressing any order, any request, any persuasion. You know why? Because you are missing something in there. You know what you're missing, I know. You're missing the noun. That is only a subject, and you need a noun. And also, this verb that we have in here is not used for any of the purposes, right? So we need to find verbs that are that express whether order, request, permission, or persuasion. This is what I wanted to explain. And you see when you have here on top that it says NP, N means noun and P means phrase. So noun phrase, right? And let's check this. It says that when you use the noun phrase, you have to use an infinitive after it. Let's see if that's true. Let's go to sentence number 1. It says, Mr. Smith told the secretary, you see, after the noun phrase, this is the noun phrase, all that is the noun phrase, right? What do you have after the noun phrase? You have the infinitive, you see, right? But look at this. He also want her not to make infinitive. But let's continue. The secretary asked Mr. Smith to give infinitive again. So basically, the rule is that when you create a noun phrase sentence, after the noun phrase, you have to use the infinitive for the sentence to make sense. If you don't use the infinitive, then you have problems. Something else that I'm going to mention very quick, because I know you noticed that. The infinitive can be affirmative or negative. Let's take a look at sentence number 1. If you see, it says, Mr. Smith told the secretary to type. To type, that's affirmative, to do it, right? But the second one says, he also warned her not to make. You see, not to, that's negative infinitive. So for us to negate the infinitive, we only have to put the not, right? The particle not, the word not in front of the infinitive, and we are negating that automatically. If you say to go, if you want to negate to go, you say not to go. To sleep, not to sleep. To teach, not to teach. But you know that this goes inside of a sentence that has previously the noun phrase. That's what I wanted to let you know, guys, about this grammar, because if you see it like that, it will be kind of confusing. Now, I want, hold on. Let me see if you really understand what I'm saying. Let me give you this sentence. Alberto, Alberto tells the students to study, right? This is like something that I normally do, because if you use the simple present, you know that this is a routine or something, a habit that Alberto has. Now, we have this sentence. We have the subject, we have the noun, and we also have the infinitive, you see? If you can notice this. Now, can you change that to be a negative infinitive sentence? A negative infinitive sentence? Remember, negative sentence is one thing, and negative infinitive is another thing. So don't get confused. Okay, now, Casey, what do you say?
So my first question is, can I change the verb into past, or I have to keep it in present?
No, you keep it in present because we are not changing the tense. We are just changing the structure of the sentence.
Okay. Alberto tells to the students,
not to study.
Okay. Not to.
To study.
Okay. Now, what do you see in there that you added that doesn't go in the sentence?
Tell me again.
There is something in there that you added that doesn't go in there.
Yeah, I have seen that. Alberto tells the students not to study. You have to
Oh.
delay the particular to, please.
Yes, very good. Because these two could be confusing in there, right? Because when you tell, like, you don't tell to, you just tell, and that's it. Like you say, she told me, she told Maria, she tells, you know, that's right, very good, that's fine, very good. Now, I want you to check this. This sentence is in negative infinitive. You know why? Because Jokesi added the word not in front of the infinitive. Remember, the infinitive is a verb that has the preposition to in front of it. So to study is the infinitive, and what Jokesi did is that she added not in front. That is negative infinitive. I'm gonna put it like that, right? Negative infinitive. That's what it is. Now, don't get confused with negating the main verb, because remember, here we have two verbs. We have the one that is conjugated, which is tells, and we have the one that is not conjugated, which is to study, right? If you are going to put the sentence in negative infinitive, you have to put it in front of the infinitive, like not. But if I tell you, change the sentence to the regular negation, like convert this sentence into a -1. If you have it, then you will say what? What would you say if you had to change it to a regular negation? Not the negative infinitive, just the regular negation. Oh, okay, Andy, yes.
I think that you need to change the, like when you say Alberto told the student not to study.
Okay, but are you changing the tense or are you changing the structure? Because one thing is changing the tense, the time, but the other is the structure.
I mean, I changed the instruction.
For example, if you want to, if I tell you, Andy, whatever I say, you're gonna change it to negative, okay? So I'm gonna say something and then you will change it to negative. If I say I like, what is the negative of that? Like,
Would you repeat it, Prof, one more time, please?
if I tell you I like, how do you change that to negative?
I don't like.
Okay, and if I say Alberto likes, what do you say?
Alberto doesn't like.
Okay, and the last one, if I say Alberto tells the students, how do you say that in negative?
Alberto told the student.
Are you sure? If you are negating, you said Alberto doesn't like. The only thing that I did was changing like for tell. So now basically you will have to say Alberto doesn't tell.
Doesn't. Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Okay, that's right. So basically,
Sorry.
that's all right. I know you were too focused on the negative. So Alberto doesn't tell the students to study, right? To study. Now, this is what I want to explain. This is what we call regular negation. You see? So basically now we have two types of negation that we didn't know that we used it. So we have the negative infinitive, which means that you don't change the structure, like you don't change anything from the sentence. From the original sentence in negative infinitive, you don't have to change anything. You only have to add, right? Whether not, right? If it is not, you just put it in front of the infinitive and that's it. Whether if it is a regular negation, you are not negating the infinitive in the regular negation. You are negating the main verb. Look, you say Alberto tells, Alberto doesn't tell. This is what we call the regular negation, when you negate the principal verb in the sentence. But if you are negating the infinitive, now you know that you don't have to touch anything. Just put the word not in front of the infinitive and that's it. Let me know, guys, if you have a question. We are almost finished with this.
Continue, teacher. We are right. We're all.
Cesar Figueroa, how are you?
Everything's going great. Thanks God. Everything's
Very
great.
good.
God.
Very good. All right. Well, let me show you then. That was the explanation for this grammar that it doesn't have a name. I would call it noun phrase. Noun phrase. Yeah. Okay. Now. Okay, we have this, but this is, I'm gonna explain this later. That's gonna be for next class, because then you're gonna get confused or no. Look, guys, I'll explain this to you very quick, very fast and easy. These verbs that you see in here, make, have, and let, right? These are verbs that we also use to express permission, persuasion, orders, or request. Okay, so we use make when we give order, and we also use have when we do a request or when we want to persuade, and we use let to give permission. But in the next class, I'm going to try to explain this in detail. I'm not gonna go into that because you have many things on your head, so I'm not gonna touch that. Now, what I want you to do is this. This is an activity for you. This is a personal activity for you. This is not a homework. This is only for you to practice. Look, here we have a list of 3 times 5 is 15. We have 15 verbs here in the material. You have it. This is on page number 25. What you have to do here is that you will have to classify the verbs into the different categories. You will have to say if the verbs go into order, request, permission, or persuasion. But you need to know something very important. Some of the verbs qualify to be in 1 or 2 categories. Maybe you will find a word or a verb that goes for request and go for persuasion, or go for order and goes for request, right? So you will have to discover those type of verbs that they fall into different categories, right? Let's take, for example, let's take let. Let is here. Look, this one. Let. What do you say? This is a question for you. Where are you going to put let? Where are you going to place it? Are you going to place it in order, request, permission, or persuasion? I'm going to give you 1 minute for you to think about it. You can raise your hand and let me know. Let, right? Okay, Francifel, can you give us only one option in which one you will put it?
In permission, teacher.
Okay, so Francifel puts let in permission, right? Now, I would put it in another category.
Can I?
Yeah, Francifel, it was only one. I know you want to say it.
No, I would like to ask something.
Oh, okay.
Permission is, yeah, permission is about when you going
When you
to,
ask for permission,
yeah, yeah. Okay,
like you said that let is permission, right? That's what you said.
yeah. For
Okay,
example,
so
let me say that.
imagine that you want to go to the beach tomorrow with your friends, but you live with your mother and your mother has to give you permission. So what would you tell your mother then if you're using let?
Are you wish, teacher?
No, I'm not. I'm just.
My God. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
I know,
Just-
I know.
Okay. Yes, I know. I understood.
Okay, very good. So then you will say, Mommy, let me go to the beach, please. Let me go. Let me go. Let. You're asking for permission. Oh, I wanted to tell you this also. Well, but I hope I don't forget, but let's finish this because we're almost done. She said let is permission, but do you believe that there is another category that we could put let? Andy?
Yes, for me also you can use let as a persuasion also.
A persuasion, right? Okay. Cesar, what do you say? Yes?
I think in request, teacher, we can
Request.
use let.
Okay.
Me too.
Request, right? Because when you are like asking, you are like asking because if you tell Andy, let me go to the supermarket, I'm asking you for you to tell me yes or no, right?
Yes, you're asking for permission.
Right. So basically, yes. So that will fall into our, because in persuasion, it's kind of, persuasion is kind of hard. Because if you let in persuasion, you will have to add something else to the sentence. You see? You can say, oh, you know what? Let me go to the beach. I'm going to do whatever you want. I'm going to wash the dishes. I'm going to clean the house. You see? Caesar, what do you say?
Okay, excuse me, my friend. I forgot his name, but he's going to know it. I think persuasion with the verb let doesn't combine for me. Combine
Well,
with
directly, yeah, directly doesn't combine
request
directly.
and permission.
Mm-hmm.
Andy.
Yeah, that's your friend Andy. Now I want to show you something that maybe you haven't noticed when you speak English. And this is it, guys. What I'm going to do is just go over the homework and we're done. Let, right? Everybody says, let's go. Everybody says that. But you don't know what you're saying. You are asking for permission. You're asking for permission. First, let. You know that whenever you use a verb, right? Oh my God, I'm not gonna go into that topic. Maybe I'll touch that later. You know the problem with teaching that you get excited and you want to explain everything, but okay, let. Whenever you use a verb and you want to use a pronoun after it, you know that you have to use the complementary pronoun or the object pronouns as we call it. And those are me, you, him, her, it's, us. So let's go means let us go. That S with the apostrophe that you see in here, that means that the the you, it is there, but you don't see it. So let us go is the same as saying, let me go. I mean, when I say the same, I'm talking about the whole sense of the sentence, right? Like if I say, let me go to the beach, let me go to the beach, for example. And if I say, let us go to the beach, the essence of the sentence is the same. If it is an order, if it is a request, it is the same. Because the only thing that we are doing here is changing the pronoun, right? So basically, let me go to the beach, you are asking for permission. So if you're asking for permission there, when you say, let us go, let's go, you are asking for permission. Because if you are in a group of people, and let's imagine that we are in a drink. I know some people here don't drink, I know that. But anyways, this is a hypothetical. I know, Andy, this is a hypothetical thing. If we are in a drink or in a bar, and I say, not me as the teacher, just me as Alberto, right? And I say, okay, you know what, guys? Let's go home. If I say that, I'm asking for permission, because what about if you guys are drinking, or maybe you met a girl or a boy in there, or you are, you know, chilling there and you want to dance and someone told you to dance and now you don't want to go. You know what you're going to say? Oh, you know what? You can go first. I'll be there in 15 minutes or 20 minutes. You see? And maybe you say, oh shit, nobody wants to go. So I have to stay, whether I go alone or I will stay. So you see, the permission was not granted. So basically you're asking for permission. I know everybody uses let's go as something, you know, to motivate or, you know, okay, you know what, let's go. No, the essence of that is asking for permission. And that let's go, that go will happen if people want. If people don't want, it will not happen. Jokesi, what do you say?
For example, teacher, we can use let to make invitations. So maybe for that type of sentences can be a request, I think. For example,
Yes, that's true. That's what we said. When we use let, we can whether do it as asking permission or do it as a request, asking for something. That's true. That's right. Okay, so we're going to finish now with this. Let me go way down the page. You know, my telephone, he has a smart voice something whenever I talk. My telephone, is he or she? Who decides, me or is it me who decides if my telephone is a male or female? That's a stupid question, guys. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. Yeah, because it's a telephone. Maybe it's a masculine name, so it's he. All right, so here we are. Roles in human society. That is the homework that I left on the platform. I left like 6 questions, and all the questions, the answers to the questions are here. What you have to do, you have to read. There is only one question that is not in there. That is the question, what is a role? Where you can look it up on internet, dictionary, and you can write the definition. So that's the only one. Then you will have to read this explanation, and you will have to answer what is a prescribed role, what is a subjective role, what is an enacted role. You see, it's even in black, it's even in bold for you to make it easier for you. And what is positive sanctions, what are negative sanctions, and blah, blah, blah. That blah, blah, blah doesn't come from English. I guess it's from Spanish or other language. And that's it, guys. Finito. If you have a pregunta now, you can ask.
Okay, teacher, thanks for all. Thanks to teach us. It was a great class in this
Thank
subject.
you. If you guys
Okay.
have,
teacher,
yes.
When are we going to have the second partial or the second exam?
Oh, maybe I have to check the dates. Maybe in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I guess. Today is
Teacher,
July 10th, and we'll finish yeah, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe on the 24th.
teacher,
Yes,
teacher.
yes.
Me- did you give us the qualifications we
It is
had?
in, you didn't see it on the platform?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me check that here on Edmodo. I'm gonna go there to see the configuration. Hold on. Mhm. English.
I saw my qualification.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I know you're not seeing anything. I'm just in Edmodo. I'm just checking. So yeah, you can go in. You can go in and revise it. When you go into Edmodo, you only have to click on revise. Like to go in, you can go in the exam, and when you go in, you will see which one was wrong and which one was right. If I left a comment in there, you will be able to see it also.
Okay, right. Okay, teacher. I gotta go. I gotta go. See you in the
Okay.
next class.
All right. You sound like from the tripletazo de películas. There was from Telemicro. That was on Sundays. There was an advertisement about the tripletazo, and there was a guy who used to say, "I gotta go, I gotta go." Yeah. If you're young, you won't remember that. Okay, guys. So take care. I'll see you later. And if you have class tomorrow, I don't know if you guys do, but we have exams for is phonetics and testing. I don't know. If you're there, you take it. If you're not there, that's fine. So
Goodbye.